We're going to kind of slip into PT for Tuesday with Thompson. We kind of got all out of whack today.
I mean, yeah, we had to dissect that list. That was like brain surgery.
He's the host of the Pete Thompson Show, heard every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. on 97.3 ESPN. He missed this week. He's certainly not Cal Ripken.
No, he's not. He's more like Carson Wentz, dare we say.
One time in Omaha, a guy I worked with, I did a live shot at a batting cage or something. I swung a bat, and the guy said, well, he may not hit like the Babe, but he sure looks like him.
So how's the PT feeling over there?
It's been a slow recovery. You know, I'm recovering. I'll put it out there. Everybody's asking, so I'll put it out there. I had umbilical hernia surgery, which is not a huge deal in the pantheon of surgeries that you can have, but you know, the PT has a pretty large belly, and the umbilical belly button area is a big part of that.
Did you never get your umbilical cord cut off? What happened there?
Yes, that's exactly right, Ryan. I've been tethered to a human. No, it probably, you know, I probably had the umbilical hernia since birth, and you know, as the balloon becomes bigger, that would be my stomach. Then, like, you know, a meat thermometer, that thing pops out, and you know, even it just being out isn't a problem. It's just that it became a problem when it started messing up some of my innards.
Ooh,
man.
Enough said.
So
glad you're
they
doing
put you under,
better than-
PT?
Did they put me under? Absolutely, they put me under. It was
well, sometimes
It's a bit of bold strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's laparoscopic surgery, and then there's like, you know, 10 blade, and this was like 10 blade. You know, like they. I was so dazed and dozy when I came out of the anesthesia that it took me about half a day to figure out, like, something's different. What's different? Oh, they shaved my belly because they're operating. I mean, so in other words, laparoscopically, they just make little incisions and they blow air in there and they do what they got to do with instruments. In this case, they literally cut, peel, repair, sew it back up again.
All right. Well, we're glad you're feeling better. Now, will you be back to your real job this week?
My real job, I will be back next week.
Okay.
My Pete Thompson show, I am hoping to get back to Saturday.
All right.
So that's the goal.
Will you let us know?
You know, trying to come in and do the radio show for 2 hours on Saturday morning is step one of the process. I mean, first and foremost, can I drive? You know, can I get in the car and crunch my belly getting in and crunch it getting out and not rip anything?
So have you got a chance to pay attention? Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I watched the entire Super Bowl, and I was thrilled to watch it not from a hospital bed. You know, although I'm very thankful to all the staff at Atlantic Care and City Campus. So watch the whole thing. I saw some today.
So are you an Andy Reid guy? Like, are you happy today for Andy? Like, are you one of those? Like, I've seen a lot of mix. And, you know, is Dave Weinberg doing your show Saturday?
Yeah, if I'm there, he is.
Okay,
Absolutely.
well, I'm asking because I've seen Dave, you know, he wrote an article and then he tweeted out the other day about, like, he's not sure why Eagle fans were.
I believe that Dave Weinberg has a different feeling about Andy Reid than I do. You know the PT. The PT loves a guy that said Temple Tough, baby, right? He loves a guy that I asked him about the very first time that I asked any media question to Andy Reid. It was about Correll Buckhalter, and I was at Lehigh, and I did it wearing a Nebraska shirt. And as he was walking out of the media tent after the was done, he like gave me a wink, like, question, which it wasn't. It was just because he saw me wearing the Husker shirt. You know, I mean, so I think that's the Andy Reid that I was rooting for. Dave probably is thinking of the Andy Reid that, quite frankly, was in, you know, could be a bit standoffish and a bit of an a-hole. I mean, I wrote this. I said, put me in the category of those who are happy for Andy Reid. I'm happy for Rick Burkholder. I'm happy for the long-suffering Chiefs fans. A historic franchise finally gets to host the Lombardi Trophy again. Plus, it was a good game.
Yeah, it's like now that the Chiefs won the game and Andy Reid's a Super Bowl champion, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, PT, but I just feel like the large amount of stories that are being told about how much how likable Andy Reid is and how many players' lives he's impacted. It's like we all knew this, but it's like anyone that's asked about Andy Reid now since that win a couple nights ago, it's like everyone is just so happy for him. And I can't remember the last time a coach after winning the Super Bowl had that type of impact.
People were happy for Dick Vermeil, for example, when he finally won it. And I think that would be a parallel that you could draw. But you're right, Ryan. I mean, Andy Reid and the Eagles organization gave Michael Vick a second chance. Andy Reid gave a lot of players that weren't as high profile as Michael Vick a second chance. The Eagles themselves, not necessarily known as warm and fuzzy, took the time to send out a tweet after the game with a picture of Reid and said, "Time's yours." Good job, Coach Reid. That's classy, and that speaks to the volumes. And Jeffrey Lurie told John Clark, Johnny Airport, hey, I'm pulling for Andy. If the Eagles aren't in the Super Bowl, it's rare that I'm going to root for anybody. But if they're not in, I want Andy to win. So I get all the love for him. If Dave Weinberg doesn't like Andy Reid, fine. That's fine. He's allowed to not like him. But I do. I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for a lot of people. Mike Bradway. Mike Bradway with Mainland. I wrote about this in my Shore Local column. He's the assistant director of player personnel for the Chiefs, but he worked for the Eagles. And his last big move for the Eagles was to turn them on to a guy named Dallas Goedert. They went out and drafted him, and then Mike moved on to the Chiefs, and now he gets a ring. I mean, that's cool. A kid from Linwood has a Super Bowl ring. It's awesome.
Definitely.
All right. Dave, he had put this, it was on his Facebook page. He said, "Congrats to the Chiefs, though I still don't get why Eagles fans are so happy for Andy. He was 1-4 in the NFC Championship with the Eagles and 0-1 in the Super Bowl." I thought that was a little bit of a shot there at Andy. Unnecessary, Dave Weinberg.
The truth of the matter is,
right hook.
Andy Reid in Philadelphia didn't get the job done. And I guess maybe what Dave's missing is, why are we happy for him? Because we don't have we're not invested in it.
Well, the thing is, he didn't get the job done, but he also brought the Eagles organization to a level of, by the way,
elite.
If the Eagles aren't at the level that they were during the Reid era, Dave, me, you, all of us don't have jobs because the people that are following the Eagles are not as fanatical about them as they are. We're as fanatical about them because Andy brought them to a level of success that we now demand success.
I agree. I remember what the Eagles were under Ray Rhodes. I remember what the Eagles were under Rich Kotite. I remember what the Eagles were. They were an absolute dumpster fire, and they could have, organizationally, they could have pivoted in one way or the other. Andy Reid had a lot to do with them being professional, classy, respected.
Just like you, Pete Thompson.
I don't know about that. I'm professional and classy.
Yeah, if you were a fart, what kind of fart? No, just
all I'm trying to do is
how many
get your
second
respect
graders?
One day.
Tuesday with Thompson in the books. PT, I hope you're feeling better, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Ryan. You did a great job.
Of course, man. Not the right circumstance, but of course. Love you.
Well, hopefully the PT's back on the Pete Thompson Show this Saturday at 8.